Tommy. Box.
Round one.
Another international affair. Australia versus Indonesia. Hambali, white and blue shorts, coming out of the blue corner. And the pretty boy, Christian Posev, of course, black and gold. Lions Den colours. He's out of the red corner, the black gloves.
He's the second of the Lions Den fighters here tonight, and we saw him in action, or last time in action, against Bima Prakosa from another Indonesian. What happened in that fight? He got dropped in the first round, but came back strongly to win by a comfortable unanimous decision. So we'll see if he improves that sort of performance against Prakosa and defeats another Indonesian here tonight.
Orthodox Posev versus the southpaw, Hambali.
Hambali, the more experienced, 38 years of age, from Medan, Indonesia, and he made his pro debut all the way back in 2002, whilst Posev made his debut in October 2018 against Matthew Smith, where he got the victory that night. So he's been around the block, the Indonesian, in Derek Hambali, with 4 wins and 3 losses.
Has been fighting for, what's that, 18 years? So, yeah, certainly a lot of time in the ring, a lot of time in the gym for Hambali. Indonesian will be looking to step that lead foot to the outside of Posev's lead foot and throw, of course, off his rear. When there's opposing stances, the jab is somewhat mitigated, so the lead foot positioning becomes paramount, and then the fighter will throw the rear hand, not setting off the jab as often.
Posev's had a great training camp, 5-week camp. He's sparred the likes of Liam Parrow, who's the WBO #2 contender at this point in time on the world stage, and also Simplice Fotsala, as we just saw before, who fought Josh Goschek, and Jesse White, who's 6-0 out of Lions Den Boxing Academy, and definitely got a great camp down there in Kielba. Igor Posev telling him to use his shoulder there. Christian Posev, his nephew, and he's on his toes at this point in time, working off the jab, and a much sort of better showing this time around in the opening round compared to his last fight against Prakosa. Nice right uppercut, but then the Indonesian comes back with a left hand.
Just a feeling out round, really, this first one. They haven't really got in and exchanged any real heavy shots. Trying to get the rhythm, trying to get the range right.
It's more an assessing sort of round, but as you see here, Posev's changing to the southpaw stance, so he's trying a few things here tonight, and he needs to be sort of varying his attack, especially against the better sort of opposition, and I definitely do believe he's going to get maybe an Australian title shot at the end of 2020, but we'll wait and see. But at the moment, he's got a job in front of him, and that's against the man, Derek Hambali, the 38-year-old.
Momentarily switching to southpaw there was Posev as well. Now back to orthodox, but that was interesting tactic from him. Pretty even first round, I thought, Jordan. Yeah,
it's an even first round, but I think maybe the left lead sort of persuaded the judges there. I think it was landed predominantly by Christian Posev. But, you know, a solid showing from Hambali, and for me, he's the underdog heading into this fight, but he put up a solid performance in that first round. And Christian Posev, still 3 rounds to sort of come in this matchup. This is a super lightweight contest. Posev has sort of jumped up and down in weight divisions from welterweight to super lightweight, but I do believe this is his best division. As we go to the highlights here.
Posev just working to get the range right, get the rhythm, looking for the weakness in his opponent, Hambali. Hambali, in turn, the more experienced of the two, as we mentioned. He knows he's got the job ahead of him.
Seconds down.
Box.
Round 2.
Dictating from centre ring here, Posev using that left lead as we saw in the first round. Not really scoring punches, but trying to bait his opponent and trying to feint to see where he moves.
And Bali now fighting from the orthodox stance. Both in orthodox now.
Right.
Now the jab will come into play a lot more, obviously.
Using the sort of shoulder roll technique, Christian Posev here tonight. He's done that sort of quite frequently in his first 4 fights, but we're seeing it here tonight at the Grand Star receptions in Altona. He's only 22 years of age and definitely got a high ceiling level, and he's trying to make his way up the ranks on the Australian scene before he maybe tries his luck internationally. But these are the opponents that he needs to win, and win with a good performance.
pretty comfortable in centre ring, Posev too. Doesn't look to have much nerves about him, gets in there quite composed.
He's a real confident character, even when you talk to him. I went to watch a couple of his sparring sessions last year when he was training a few of the boys from stand-up, and he's a confident character, and at only 22, definitely a lot of upside. As Jeffrey Eddy gets involved there, one of the best referees in the business, Jeffrey Eddy, always on the ball.
Prince Promotions certainly bringing the heat, and a lot of variation in the card tonight. Kickboxing and boxing, providing great entertainment for the crowd at hand here.
Yeah, definitely what you want to see, a mixture of kickboxing and boxing, and definitely catches the eye of the audience that he's watching. Nice body shots there thrown by Christian Posev, and he's lifting his performance here. He was probably about second or third gear in the opening round, but has lifted, and his punch volume is increasing as the fight is going on.
Interesting to see Hambali staying in that orthodox stance now, Jordan. What do you think that would be?
Yeah, I think, you know, he's staying in this sort of stance. You know, he changed it up in the first couple of rounds to give his opponent different looks, but I think he's probably better suited to this orthodox stance. I watched a couple of his fights, and he stays in his stance for a long period. He just wanted to try something up in the first 2 rounds, and I think he'll go probably back to the orthodox stance for the remaining sort of couple of rounds.
Trying to be a bit tricky, changing it up a little bit with the basing, Hambali, but now back to orthodox v orthodox. And they need to set those jabs a bit more. I think last time we commentated, Posev, that lead hand being down was really a concern for me, and he's still doing it. But I mean, if it works for him, so be it. But he's got to have that shoulder right up to defend that counter right.
He definitely came unstuck in his last fight in November. He got knocked down in the first round from that sort of low defensive work there. But I think Eagle Posev will probably work on that as his career sort of goes on. And he's got a great team to work with, Lions Den Boxing Academy. Definitely one of the sort of strongest boxing gyms in Victoria.
So round number 2 is down in the books. How did you score it at home? Posev still probably more active of the two, but a closer round, that's for sure. When you look at Posev going down to the body, and Bali trying for the big hook. Nothing scored for him. But Posev just busier, and I think landing more of the cleaner shots. Beautiful body rip there.